Here's a news reporter, a local TV reporter for Arizona Fox 10. Can you picture ever a Trump rally where nobody showed up? There was a Biden rally. It was actually his first joint appearance with Kamala Harris, and nobody, I mean, nobody showed up. Listen to the local TV reporter, how shocked she is. She's standing outside the event with an empty street behind her, and even the local TV reporter can't quite believe she's at a Democrat presidential candidate rally few weeks before the election. And nobody, repeat, nobody showed up.
There's really not much to see. I'll step out of the way, but it's kind of boring out here. So it's not your typical presidential campaign event. We don't see people rallying outside. We don't see signs or really much of what's going on. And I'm told by one of the Biden staffers, local staffers, is that they kind of kept the details about the visit as far as the timing and the exact locations. And pretty much all the people that we saw enter into the parking lot about 45 minutes ago were with the Biden-Harris campaign and the pool reporters. So you would expect to see, I mean, this is a pretty big event for the two of them to be campaigning together for the first time since the Democratic National Convention here in Arizona. We've established, our state has established itself as a battleground state, and so this is technically a big event, but not a lot of fanfare. So we're getting information about what's going on with these meetings from our national correspondent pool reporters, but from out here, you really can't tell anything much is going on. Biden-Harris campaign not releasing a lot of details about where these events are taking place and exactly when. Like I said, you know, this is a huge event politically, but you can't tell by the outside of the Heard Museum. There's really not a lot going on here.
The graphic says Biden-Harris campaign event underneath, and it's an empty street. There's nobody there. That's better than fiery but peaceful protest, with the reporter standing in front of the burning buildings saying that the protests are mainly peaceful. This is where the media is. He has broken everything. Trump has broken, but again, that's a local TV reporter. She's not a Fox News contributor. She's not townhall.com. She's a local reporter trying to explain why nobody's there. Well, they were a little sketchy on the details, but, listen, Trump could show up in an hour somewhere. There'd be 10,000 people out there waiting to get a glimpse of the president. So I don't know what any of this means, because I'm not trying to give you a false sense of complacency or security. You got to move mountains to vote. You better go. November 3rd. We are 3 weeks away, 3 weeks from tomorrow. We are in this home stretch, if there ever was one. I had a friend say he was in New Milford, Connecticut yesterday. He couldn't believe all the Trump flags everywhere. That's 45 minutes outside of New York City. I had a friend in South Carolina, flags, signs everywhere. Texas, Florida, Arizona, California, Minnesota. But signs aren't going to get the job done. Voting gets the job done. I absolutely know that I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to say it till you're sick of me. You got to be sure you vote. You got to tell your friends to vote. You got to tell your neighbors to vote. Interesting thing about the signs. The Trump signs are everywhere. I keep thinking about all the people who would be afraid to put a sign out, but feel the same way and are going to vote. A lot of people are pointing out, if you got an American flag in front of your house, you're probably a Trump supporter. Not sure if that's true or not, but listen, just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you don't love your country. I've never said that. But this is a choice between law and order, between the police, between support for the military, the rule of law, the Constitution. It's all on the ballot. It is all on the ballot. A quick update to this awful story of the these militia members who were arrested for kidnapping and killing Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She immediately denounced them as Trump supporters. One of the ringleaders, as described, of the group of men arrested for the plot, had apparently a posted video. I'm not sure how this guy could be described as a Trump supporter.
No, Trump is not your friend, dude. And it amazes me that people actually believe that when he's shown over and over and over again that he's a tyrant. Every single person that works for government is your enemy, dude.
Gretchen Whitmer ought to be ashamed of herself for putting this terrible plot, and I'm so glad that these guys were arrested. But blaming that on Trump, and that's one of the so-called ringleaders. Just want to make sure that you knew that. Welcome in to a Breaking News Monday. We'll take you to Capitol Hill. We'll listen in on the confirmation hearing of Amy Coney Barrett.